You may know Fresh Patch from Shark Tank, Oprah, or The Today Show. This is the Fresh Patch Podcast, where good pets get it. Sit back, put your paws up, and enjoy the show. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Fresh Patch Podcast. I'm your host, Drew, with my lovely co-host, Mr. Gabe, over here to my right. And we have an awesome guest today.
Oh, yeah.
And two of the viewers. You probably see one on the coffee table, but we have Melissa, Jarvis, and...
Puzzy?
Puzzy. Sorry.
Puzzy,
okay,
man.
redo.
I'm over here saying Fuzzy in my head. I'm like, no.
I don't know. Do you want to say everything? Okay.
We got rabbits today, everybody. We got rabbits
yes.
and a very awesome guest. So, welcome to the Fresh Patch Podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Really
It's
nice
great to be here.
Yes.
I love talking about rabbits.
Ooh, I love hearing about rabbits.
Yeah.
And I love seeing rabbits.
Me
so
too.
that's like best of both
Yes,
worlds.
this is
right
Jarvis.
Jarvis.
He is probably about 10 years old. He is a foster from Ventura County Animal Services Bunny Brigade, which is in Camarillo. We serve Ventura County, all of the public. It's a public animal shelter. And we got him about a year ago. He was in really, really rough shape. He came in with mites and fleas and all kinds of damage, and his fur was an issue. And we've spent the last year rehabilitating him. He does have a condition that will eventually take him, but he is living his best old man rabbit life at my house. And anyway, I thought he'd enjoy getting out today. He's very chill.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's so chill. And he's a giant.
Yeah.
He is. He's probably about
So
10
cool.
pounds.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
Yeah.
Big guy. He's enjoying the grass, which is great.
He is.
he
The
is.
grass is cool.
Yes.
So, and all the bunnies for the Bunny Brigade and at my house, they're all indoors. So
Perfect.
this is a treat. This
Yeah.
is why
Absolutely.
This is why I found Fresh Patch and bought it on my own.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
That's so
great.
funny. It looks like from my angle, he's like looking at the camera. Well,
Yeah.
he's
He
kind of
probably is, to be honest.
He knows.
He's
knows what the
curious.
lights mean,
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Rabbits are really, really curious. People don't often realize they have huge personalities. They're inquisitive. They are animals of prey, which obviously puts them at the bottom of the food chain and puts them at risk for many things. But when they feel safe and secure, they will run around your house. They will do things called binkies, which means have you ever seen that?
Oh, we know all about that because of like the social media side. But yes.
A binky is when a rabbit shows joy. They run and they jump and twist in the air and kick out their legs.
It's so
I will
cute.
say when you're 10 years old and you're a rabbit, your binky looks a lot different than a little one. But yeah.
That's
You
so
got,
great.
you got old man binkies.
We
Old
call
man
him Old
Jarvis?
Man Rabbit at our house.
That's so good. Cool.
Oh,
Well,
that's
before we
awesome.
really dive into all the questions and everything, I just want to let the viewers and listeners know, hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Follow at Fresh Patch on all social media. Check out freshpatch.com for your real grass potty needs. And check out Ventura County Animal Services. Thank you very much.
Bunny
Bunny
Brigade.
Brigade.
The Bunny
Brigade.
Brigade. You can check them out on social media,
Yep.
their website. They are local here to Ventura County and Camarillo. And I can't say nothing but good things about Ventura County Animal Services. Both of us have
Incredible.
gotten our dogs
Yes.
from there.
Wonderful.
Oakley, who you met, not, but my family's dog is from there. My first ever dog. From there.
Fabulous.
It's we love it.
We are what you'd call a no-kill shelter, so it makes it very easy to volunteer there. We have, for the Bunny Brigade alone, more than 100 volunteers.
Wow.
Really, the shelter has an amazing staff, great director, and we run on volunteer power too. So it's a fun place to be and to educate and serve Ventura County.
Yeah.
So we've been there a few times, like to shoot content, like meet some of the team and stuff. Every time I go, I'm like, dang, I wish I could take every one of these animals with me. Like, oh,
You know,
Yeah, well,
it's tough sometimes.
It is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys do amazing work
Thanks.
over there.
Absolutely.
I
I've
love
been
it.
I think I'm going on 10 or 11 years as a volunteer.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Congrats.
That's really cool.
That's awesome. That's
Thanks.
really cool. Cool. So let's get to know you
Okay.
a little
Yeah.
bit.
All right.
Get to know the bunnies. So
at you.
you already introduced yourself, but
Yeah.
tell us how you first got into caring for rabbits.
Oh my gosh. I was 10 and I was in 4-H, Edna 4-H up in San Luis Obispo. My best friend's mother ran the rabbit project. And my mom thought, oh, this will be a good entry to animal care. And we
Yeah.
always had dogs and cats, but never a rabbit. So I learned all about the breeds, which actually turns out was very helpful for me because I retained all that knowledge. And we'll get rabbits that come into the shelter. I will instantly know that's a this or that's a that. Not that breeds necessarily matter, but I learned a lot about general rabbit care back then. What I didn't know or do was I put them outside. I kept them in a hutch on wire, separated, alone. They never got fixed. In fact, I even dabbled in breeding rabbits at one point, which now I look back on and think, oh, Mom, what were you thinking? But I learned. I'm giving back now.
Yeah.
And when people come into the shelter to adopt, I often hear that's a common theme. Like, oh, I had a rabbit as a kid. And I'm like, was it outside? Yep, it was outside. And it was alone. And that's probably one of those myths about rabbits is that's where they like to be. When in fact, rabbits are highly, highly social animals. They love being around other rabbits if it's appropriate, like they've been bonded. They love people. They can like other animals, but they want company.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And that's, if you're looking for like a companion type of pet, that's kind of what you're looking for, right? So
Yes.
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say we get other videos too, like you were saying, that they're great with other animals, most of the time and stuff. We definitely have some other influencer partners and stuff where they're, or just see it on social media, a rabbit with a dog and a cat and stuff. And look at that transfer.
That took a lot.
Yeah. Good job, Jarvis.
Good job.
Trying out the mini for all the
right.
viewers. This is the mini.
The mini.
Freshpatch.com.
I will
Check it
say
out.
this is the size I order for rabbits.
There we go. The standard.
Works
yes.
well.
The standard.
That's
It
why
is
I put
perfect.
both those sizes up on the coffee table because those are our most typical sizes for
Right.
the rabbits and
Right.
stuff. So, but we got our large on the floor, so if they do want to hop down, we
Yeah,
got that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi,
Well,
Jarvis.
That's a great way to. From 10 years old, that's
And
amazing.
I pretty much have, and then it continued. I think when I didn't have them in college, and then in my early 20s, I decided I had to have another pet, and my then boyfriend, now husband, was allergic to cats. And I'm like, well, we're getting a rabbit. And
Yep.
he's like, well, I hope I'm not allergic. And he's not, fortunately. And we've pretty much always had rabbits since then.
Wow.
Usually with, cats, people I think are allergic to the dander. Rabbits, not so much, though occasionally people are allergic. What they are allergic to, turns out, is the hay. So
I was going to ask. is the hay,
80%
huh?
of a rabbit's diet is
Yeah.
hay, and it's either like we can talk about this being fresh grass. Great, they can nibble on this, but they eat either orchard hay or Timothy hays like that when they're older, and it helps kind of keep their gut moving. It wears their teeth down. So rabbits' teeth are constantly growing, and they
Interesting.
have to chew on things to wear it down. So hay is a great thing for them. And enrichment in general is awesome because like they might chew on this cardboard. It's safe. It's clean. They chew on safe, clean wood, different types of willow, apple sticks, things like that.
Yeah.
And it's great because it keeps them busy and it keeps them from chewing. I'm looking around to see what my bunnies would destroy, like
Yeah.
this
That
cord.
cord there,
Uh-huh.
for sure.
iPhone cords, we pretty much order those all the time, but they think of those as like a little vine. So they like to
Gotcha.
chew.
Got it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that dangerous for them?
I mean,
Like
it's
if
not
it's-
great.
Yeah.
But honestly, I've found cords, and I'm like, "Whew, look what you did!" And you're still alive.
Yeah.
But we wrap any cords that are on like in their area. We have cord protectors on them.
Got it. Yeah,
and you
that
can
makes
find
sense.
that on wherever, Amazon and anything.
That
Definitely.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So you said their teeth. So their teeth are. There you go.
He's digging.
Yeah, get it, Jarvis. Get it. Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, boy.
So when you say their teeth are constantly growing, like they're growing for their whole
Their
life.
whole life, they grow.
That's
wild.
that is
It
crazy.
is.
So if there's a bunny who like say doesn't have that kind of like enrichment available to them, will they eventually like get to the point where it's like super long and like brittle and break? And
They should wear evenly. So if with what they're eating, like I remember back, I didn't put hay in my rabbit's hutch when I was a kid. and they ate pellets and they had water. They chewed all the wood all around the hutch, and that was what they were doing instead of that.
Their teeth, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if there's something wrong, it's called malclusion when their teeth don't line up. Exactly right.
Gotcha.
And I've had a rabbit before who had to have all her top teeth removed.
Wow.
Rabbits actually have the front teeth, right?
Yeah.
And then they have a full set in back.
Oh,
Wow.
no way.
And so you would think, oh my gosh, no teeth. But as long as they can get the food on their tongue, and whether it's like a long string of hay or a piece of a smaller piece of lettuce or pellet, then they can get it to the back teeth and
back.
chew it up. So
Gotcha.
it's safe.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Interesting.
that's really cool.
Wow, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, well.
You know?
So what originally made you like fall in love with bunnies and really make this like kind of your
I mean,
passion
come on.
project? Yeah, yeah,
I know.
yeah.
It's
I know.
hard to deny that face.
I have to say, it's the personality. And I know all animals have distinct personalities, but people don't expect that in a rabbit. And it's those distinct personalities. They're like the mix of the dog and cat. They follow you around, like mine do, because they want to be fed.
Yeah.
But they're very engaging. They aren't, this is the myth bust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They aren't snuggly. Like people, when they come in to adopt, they're like, but I just want a bunny I can snuggle. And I'm like, well, they actually are happiest when they're all 4 feet on the ground.
Yeah.
They're an animal of prey.
Yeah.
They want to be able to get away, right? From whatever. It's just, that's instinct. And so what I think I discovered as a kid, because I would bring them in and play with them, is that if I got on the floor with them and laid down, they would go crazy. Because they were eye to eye with me. They'd walk on me, they'd push me, they'd snuggle, they'd lay down.
Aww.
Yeah.
And so I think it was just maybe that unexpected behavior from a rabbit, not a cat.
Yeah.
And from there, it just, it took off. I
blossomed.
became crazy rabbit girl, lady, whatever.
Whatever the title
Yeah,
is.
yeah, well,
Many titles.
I wear it with pride.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good myth buster right there. I mean, that's a huge thing I would say for everybody.
Yeah, they don't like to be carried.
cuddled.
They don't really like to be picked up. I mean, they will if they have to.
Yeah. I'm sure if they trust you too.
They do.
Like, yeah.
Yes, but it's really like they're happiest when their feet are anchored to something solid and you're at their level.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes total sense. Stoop. I don't want to say stoop to their level.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
No, really,
You are
yeah.
stooping to their level,
Yeah.
and they feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
Makes total sense. Cool. So, how did you become involved with Ventura County Animal Services as a volunteer?
My kids were actually in 4-H as well in Ventura, city of Ventura, and there was this really cool project they did. It was called Roots and Shoots, and it was Jane Goodall's kind of environmental stewardship outreach group. And one of the activities we would do is we would volunteer with the Bunny Brigade, and the kids would go in and read to the bunnies or socialize with the bunnies once a month. And I was like, I get to, get back into the bunny groove.
Yeah.
And we had house bunnies, but it was, more immersive. And my kids were very comfortable with that. And I met this amazing woman. Her name's Pat. And she realized right away I had a lot of rabbit knowledge. And I like to volunteer.
Yeah.
And there it went.
There
So
it is.
I think I started coordinating fosters and doing offsite education events. And just kind of grew from there. And now I co-lead the whole group as a volunteer. And that, ranges from going in every Saturday and kind of working the shift, doing adoptions and education, to doing all our ordering and just, generally organizing the group with a really great group of volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's really cool. And again, like VCIS, incredible organization, and if like you're in Southern California, it's such a great place to go. They have so many amazing animals available.
Yeah.
But I want to ask a question, like specifically on the bunny side, the Bunny Brigade,
Tell
if
me,
you will.
ask.
So what does a typical day for a volunteer look like?
Good question. It varies, but I have a whole list I could show you. It depends on, are you there early? Are you there later? But it is getting in, cleaning out their kennels every single day. We dump their litter boxes, give them fresh hay. It's getting them out for exercise, changing the water, like doing some one-on-one socializing with them. It's cleaning the barn. It's refilling food. We have a lot of duties that we do, like bringing in the greens, getting a daily salad ready for the rabbits, doing health checks on the rabbits. If anybody's been spayed or neutered, making sure that their incisions look good, and if not, alerting the vet's office. I will also call out, we have an amazing vet's office at our shelter. And I can't imagine doing what we do without their support. Mm-hmm. So it really varies, but I'm usually there 3 or 4 hours every Saturday. A lot of what I do, if it's a good week, is educating and conducting adoptions. We do screenings and education on the outside, like before people come in.
Mm-hmm. So, what does that education process kind of look like?
It's what we're doing here.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's talking about, like, it often starts with, where do you think you want the rabbit to live? And then me learning. And often, somebody might say, well, I've got this really cool hutch and it's outside. And from there, I just talk to them about, well, here are the reasons we recommend inside. In fact, we are an indoor only. It's on the shelter's literature website and whatnot. Because the rabbit's happier, the rabbit's healthier. It's not going to be taken by a predator. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be scared to death. They are nervous. Right? Yeah. They're nervous animals.
I was just going to say, when you walked in, they're like, they get stressed easily. So I was thinking, if they're outside, they're probably thinking, I got to be on alert.
If they're running around your backyard, a hawk can't pick him up. But it could come down, scare him. He could, and let that play out.
Yeah.
There's a myriad of diseases they can catch. In fact, there's a disease called RHDV2, and it got to California in our area in 2020, and it's a hemorrhaging disease. It's in the wild rabbit population. Our rabbits are vaccinated for it, but at that moment, I think it was, for me, like, I was always like, oh, do they want to be outside a little bit, even supervised, right? So, and at that point, I was like, no, it's not worth it. And they do not care. They want to be with people. They want to see people and socialize, or maybe the bonded pair be with each other.
Definitely.
He's interested in
I
you.
gotta get some action
So, and that's why, honestly, not to sell your product for you, but
Please.
I'm going to. But
By
that's
all
why
means.
this is super fun, because it mixes. It's clean, it's healthy, it's safe. There's no. I did all my research. There's
absolutely.
no pesticides or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny, like, we always say
that.
that with cats too, because like cats are another one that largely are indoor cats. Like these days, most cat owners will keep their cats indoors, so it only makes sense that it would be a similar sort of enrichment for bunnies.
Yeah.
And you saying that enrichment is very important to them.
Super. Mm-hmm. I mean, to the point where I don't even have a food bowl anymore. Like, I will I'll either put it in, what do they call them? Those little things where they have to hunt for the food. You hide the
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not coming.
I know, I'm blanking too, but I get you.
I might sprinkle the food around their pen, because then it gives them something to look for, hunt for, forage.
Gotcha.
I said not hunt, but forage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another great term for the grass too.
Yeah, we could put there. Like,
Yeah.
I've got some treats in here for him right now. He's more interested in you guys.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's like, new faces.
The other bunny, and when she comes out, she'll eat those right up.
Yeah.
Quick side question. Can you teach bunnies tricks? Like, could like shake with the dog, like that kind of stuff,
Maybe. I mean,
a lot of effort.
Okay. I mean, we have at the shelter, we rarely bust it out, but we do have an agility thing. And they will, like, if you watch online, you'll occasionally see bunnies doing an agility.
Yeah.
I mean, they're food motivated. So, I mean, a dog's food motivated. Yes, you can teach them, but they're not going to really, like, roll over.
Yeah.
But they'll stand up. They might twirl around.
Yeah.
They might lay down.
That's cute.
They learn certain words. I mean, they know, like, when I say treaty, they, and I say it a certain way, they all perk up.
Yeah.
Do they know their names?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe. I mean, some do, some don't. They know the sounds, right?
Yeah.
So
Got it,
I
yeah.
always tell people, end all your animals' names with a E sound.
Yeah, exactly.
But he doesn't have that name. He got this name last year.
Gotcha.
He honestly doesn't care
Yeah, he's
what
just
his
hanging.
name is.
Jarvie. How about that?
Jarvis.
Jarvis.
I'm not sure who named him. One of our volunteers.
That's good. Must be an Iron Man fan. I'm
Maybe.
assuming.
Yeah, you guys, the
Right.
whole place, like you guys come up with great names out there.
How many bunnies or rabbits are typically at the shelter at a
Oh
time?
gosh, I mean, over the years we've had more than 100 at any time.
Wow.
Right now, if we have 20, that's a fair number. I think, only have 9 right at this moment.
Wow.
We are fortunate, like we do a lot of adoptions. And also there's a lot of great rescue partners in Southern California who sometimes will pull from us, who they need older females because they're getting requests for a lot of dates. So one thing with rabbits, they do like a partner. And
Got
so
it.
if they can be bonded, they have to pick their partner.
Yeah.
They are picky about
like
that.
humans.
And so, they will pull from that. And they have to be usually at least a month or 2 outside of being fixed. So the hormones are out of their system. Is he
Gotcha.
sleeping?
He looks like he's falling asleep.
He probably
yeah.
is.
Yeah. I just love that. I love
so this is their nap time. Rabbits are crepuscular. So a lot of people are like, are they nocturnal? Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be up at night once in a while. You'll hear them. But for the most part, they sleep. They're really active at dawn and dusk. And then they kind of sleep during the day. That's what
Yeah.
crepuscular is. What's cool about that is if a family or whoever owns a
Yeah.
bunny is on a typical schedule.
I was just about to say
That's
that.
perfect.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, but I'm not home during the day. I'm like, bunny doesn't really care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you work that 9 to 5. It's the most
Yeah.
ideal schedule. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Man, that's awesome. It's so funny. Like, I recently just lost my dog, and I was thinking, like, man, I really want to get a new dog, but like, it's just such a commitment. And then, like, every day going to work, like, you're gonna feel bad, and
It is.
so
And taking him out to go to the bathroom. And so rabbits, all the rabbits are litter box trained.
Okay.
Once they're fixed, so getting a bunny fixed, there's so many advantages. This is not something I knew when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
One, it's good for their health. Most rabbits will get some sort of reproductive cancer by the time they're 5. And if you think about that, that's in nature. That's kind of when their eggs would be old or whatever, right? They'd be getting out of the gene pool.
Got it.
But if they get fixed and they're indoors and they have a good diet, they can live to be 8 to 12 years old. And some of our volunteers have had 15-year-old bunnies. I know, amazing.
That's crazy. Oh, Jarvis, you're an old man for real.
He is. He really is.
There he goes. He was
Buddy.
knocked. I was say it's so cute when they're sleeping and their nose is still going. Or I don't know if he was actually asleep, but the nose is still
He
going.
might have.
And,
That shows how he's really comfortable here.
yeah, that's great.
But getting them fixed, it also takes the hormones out of their system.
Mm-hmm.
And so that allows them to want to use a litter box. Rabbits are very neat
Yeah.
and clean. You never bathe a rabbit. They take care of that themselves.
Wow.
They will
Interesting.
pick their spot. And if you had a bunny growing up and
Yeah.
you're like, well, it always pooped in that corner. Yeah, it did. So
Designated potty
you
spot.
put the litter box in that corner and they go.
Interesting.
And once they're fixed, that really, really, really improves.
Gotcha.
Sure, yeah.
Wow.
That's really
Okay, so
interesting.
I like how you mentioned the litter box.
Mm-hmm.
Being the Fresh Patch is a potty system for dogs.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to start them off, not with the litter and with the grass, no.
I mean, they might. I don't know.
yeah.
I wouldn't really recommend it. I think
Gotcha.
this for rabbits more as enrichment.
Yeah,
Got it.
Though,
definitely.
I mean, my other pair,
Yeah.
they did poop on it a few times, but they really enjoyed playing in it and
Yeah.
digging it up and chewing at it more than anything.
Saw Jarvis over there.
Right.
Yeah.
The litter box is literally like a cat litter box.
Uh-huh.
You put something to absorb the urine on the bottom. It has to be a paper product, like cat litter, wood chips. If they eat those, it'll make them very sick. So none of
Gotcha.
that. And then you put a ton of hay on top, and they just go in there and they munch on hay and they poop and pee. And it's
Wow.
and you just dump it, wipe it out, clean it, and redo it each day. And they're very happy. So that serves the hay purpose, which this
Gotcha.
doesn't replace.
Yeah.
So for them, this is like fun. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Something different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's playtime.
They're not in danger being actually outside. and
That's
stuff.
right.
That's so cool. Okay, so for people who have never owned a rabbit, how would you describe their personalities? I know you've touched on it a little bit, but
Depends on the rabbit,
Yeah.
for one. I mean, and it depends on how much they've been socialized and they're comfortable with their environment. So like any animal, I always tell people, I know there's a certain number of days with dogs, but like you have to give them time to get into your house and to feel comfortable and safe before they're going to show you their real personality. Now, we get to know the personalities at the shelter. And so I worked with a wonderful family last week, and she was like, the kids think this one's cute. And I'm like, that one's really skittish. I would not have that bunny with kids because it would scratch and do all these things. Right? It's going to be a nice bunny, but for somebody else, or be a bondable bunny.
Yes.
And she's like, could you show me what's the sweetest bunny here? And it was this bunny, Romy. And we got her out, and she sat with these kids, and she just was like this, and then she was crawling on them and snuggling them. And I'm like, oh, how perfect.
Yeah.
So they're curious, they're precocious. I have one who, when she comes out every night and we sit and we're watching her, like the Dodgers or whatever, the sports. And she gets up on the couch right behind me, or my husband. She likes to lick his head. But she sits right next to me and puts her head here, and I pet her and I pet her and I pet her. And then when I stop, she digs at me like this, and sometimes she'll do a quick nip, like, why did you stop? So demanding can be also, and like, if you're watching over here, the other bunny, she's like poking her head out, wondering, and she's in there digging. She's like, how come I'm not getting attention?
Yeah, they're a little mischievous.
They can be mischievous. Not most bunnies, though, like I said, are not snuggly, cuddly. They're just... They are like cats. When they want you, they want you.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are like some funny or like maybe surprising things that bunnies do that most people like wouldn't expect?
I mean, that bunny, the other bunny, sitting maybe at some point.
Puzzy,
sorry.
Don't forget it again.
Don't forget it. Puzzy will make an appearance soon, don't worry.
She literally, like, she has our whole bedroom during, like, and she will get on our bed during the day, and she looks exactly like a cat would. And I always just laugh. Like, and she lays out and shows her belly and she flops. A couple of mine really do this. It's when they flop, you know they're really comfortable, but it's so cute. And they're showing their underside, which is like
exposing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like their zone, the most
Yeah.
vulnerable part of a prey animal. And I think that is like what I'm joyful, because I'm like, oh, they're really happy.
Like, you trust me.
Yeah,
That's
you trust
pretty
us.
cool. Yeah.
I think it's fun when, like, they literally will follow me around, because I mean it has to do with food usually. But the one who comes up on PJ, she comes up and sits with me every night. Like, I got her when she was 10 days old as well, and I bottle fed her as an orphan, and she thinks that she is in charge of everyone in the house. Like, she's the alpha. She has no idea she's a bunny.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny.
That's great. Cool. So I love how you touched on, the personalities, and I think that's a huge trait with even other rescues that we work with and stuff, that, like you said, oh, that one's so cute, and it's like, yeah, but it's not going to be the best fit for, and I love that approach with all rescues, and I think that's so important too, you know what I mean? Because you're trying to get the rabbit into the perfect home.
Yeah.
Of course, you don't want to give a family something that's not going to work out and stuff, of course. So with that in mind, and people going to adopt and stuff, what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about bunnies as pets?
So many. One, that they're a starter pet. It's kind of like we were talking earlier before we started rolling, like guinea pigs or hamsters and whatnot. Though guinea pigs aren't starter pets either, but no pet is a starter pet.
Right,
okay, like let's be real. But that people really think like, oh, it's just a rabbit. Like, again, I can throw it out in the backyard in a hutch, and that's that. They are exotic animals. It's harder to find vets who will take them. So that is just number one, that they require a lot of care. They require you to pay attention to, are they eating, are they pooping? You want a rabbit's digestive system always working. And if it slows down, that is like red alert. You need to get them to a vet or get them some kind of attention. So for that reason, you can't just go on vacation and leave them home alone with a big bowl of food. They need to be checked on and cared for.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's the snuggly thing too. Although I will say, Jarvis and Puzzy, we kind of had them out.
I know, they've been handled a lot.
Yes.
But
Okay.
So that's the other thing is, like, I always tell people, they want that instantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but you have to invest in it. So like as much as you put into your pets, they eventually, hopefully,
For sure.
we'll see, but
Yeah.
we'll give it back to you.
You got to like build the trust.
Yeah. Also, I always tell people when you get a bunny home, we recommend that. So people think they live in hutches. Hutches are bad. They're tiny. They're small. They have wire on the bottom, and it wears the hair off the bottom of their feet and can cause bleeding and infection. So we recommend a 4x4 like dog X pen. And I'm happy to share that with you guys if it helps. Like you could post it online for folks or link to us. And that is the right amount of space for them to be able to get out, stretch, hop around a little, for them to have their litter box, their water bowl. I always put like a cardboard hidey hole in there. So if they ever feel unsafe, they have a place to go. And it should be in a house and somewhere where people are, walking around and they're being interacted with. I've had people say to me, well, we'll just put them in the garage. And I'm like, it's not the house. It's not temperature controlled either.
That's a big
so
thing.
rabbits, when it gets 80 degrees or above, they're very, very heat sensitive.
Oh.
Right. So
there's so many rabbits in California. That's crazy.
I know. Well, that's why they burrow underground, right?
Gotcha.
Because it's cooler. And so that's something to be aware of. If, your house gets really warm, you want to think about, I don't have AC in Ventura. So we freeze water bottles and run fans. And we're like, it rarely gets really bad. But if it does, they're in the coolest part of the house.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, and I could totally see. I feel like I've had friends that had bunnies in the garage growing up and stuff, and it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, you think...
And they're kind of in a dark place by themselves.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's sad. It's
That's not fun.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And I think that's so cool, like what you do, because like this information like should be widely known, especially for people who like want to own a bunny, like this is really important stuff.
Cool.
So on that note, what are the most important things to know before you go and get yourself a bunny?
Their diet. I think that, so first of all, another myth.
Okay,
We're doing
here
our
we go.
myth busting.
Yeah. So turn it into a whole segment.
So Bugs Bunny.
Myth busted with Melissa?
Yeah, right. I'll come
That's
back.
a good one. That's a good one.
Alliterative. I like that.
They shouldn't eat carrots. I mean, so everyone comes, I can't tell you the number of rabbits that, like, they might come in and, there's a carrot. It's not good for them, right? It's got a lot of sugar. So a rabbit should have maybe once a day, the tiniest treat. Sugar is not good for their gut. It's not good for any part of them. They need it. Like I said, 80% of the diet is hay. They get an 1/8 to 1/4 cup of pellets, which is really like the vitamins, the minerals, a little, some of the protein, the calcium, all those things that they need, right? But my rabbits all think their pellets are candy because they don't get it. And then they get a nice daily salad, like mixed greens, romaine. They love cilantro. Maybe some carrot tops are in there. So, and we've got all kinds of flyers around the best type of salad. You don't want too much spinach. Too much calcium can help or lead to building up sludge in their bladder. So, which, will be a pain later.
Yeah.
So diet is like really super, super important. The other thing I always say is keep that bunny in the pen when you get it home. That kind of establishes its safe home base, and do that for like a week. And you go into the bunny. Get to the bunny's level. Let the bunny get to know you. The other thing that I think I would encourage people who are like, I really want a bunny. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Don't do the Easter thing.
Yep.
Or the Christmas. First of all, don't give an animal as a gift, right? Like, go choose it together. Like, make the decision together, meet it together. Their personalities do matter. Like, they see how they react. And people are always shocked when they come into the shelter and they're like, that one, I want that one. It's the cutest one here. And I'm like, okay, sit with it. And then the bunny ignores them. And then I bring out the other bunny and who's just so happy to see them. Like, it just depends.
Yeah, definitely.
So something for people to consider is many or most shelters will foster.
Yeah.
And so if you're on the fence, foster. Because like for us, we give you all the gear, we give you the food, you do the salad and all the love and attention. And
You really got me thinking here.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Oh, man.
You do that. And then we'll check in with you. You know, it might be because it's a young rabbit before it's fixed. And that's why we need it to get out. Well, we rarely have rabbits who are before they're fixed in the shelter.
Gotcha.
We want them socialized in a home as early as possible. It might be a medical situation. Sometimes it's temperamental, right? So he's medical. That's why he's with me. But I mean, I just love him. So
Yeah, he's so cute.
so
hard not to love.
So foster,
know.
and then you decide like if you really love that bunny, often you will be the first, like you'll have the first rights to adopt.
Yeah.
If not, and maybe that rabbit wasn't the right fit, you could come in, sit with other bunnies. And if it wasn't the right fit, you learned something and you did a really nice thing. You gave a bunny a break.
Yeah. Yep.
And this would be true of dogs, cats, all kinds of animals.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for
yeah.
sure.
So fostering to me, like that's my kids did. We fostered tons of rabbits. I mean, since they were little, and then when they were in high school, they became the ones who did all the cleaning and feeding, and I oversaw it, of course, as the adult. And they got service hours and volunteer hours,
Oh,
which looked great on a college application.
Yeah, no kidding.
So-
There you go. So for all you young ones out there too, you know,
Yeah.
you could be doing
Yeah.
it too. And I wanted to point out what you said because we do plan to release this episode towards Easter.
Yep.
So the education behind, you know,
They're a lot of
gifts-
work.
Yeah, they're a lot of work
They're a
and
lot of
just
work.
gifting
Yep.
a pet. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure there's going to be numerous cases of people getting a rabbit for Easter. So you know, I'm glad that you're here educating people that you know that's
They're
foster instead. You know what I
they
mean?
are
Like,
super cute when they are this big.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, nothing is cuter. And then they're this big, and they turn into, forgive me, teenagers.
Angsty
And they
teens.
really get wild. And it's before they can get fixed. They're hormonal. They stink. They pee and poop on everything. It's crazy, their behavior. We always joke. I'm like, I got the babies. Who gets them next? I don't want them after 8
What's the
weeks.
tease?
Yeah.
From 8 to 16 weeks, no thanks.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
I'm teasing, but
Yeah.
it's so. And that's when we see a lot of rabbits either get released,
Yeah.
because they're like, oh, they could go out in the wild. They cannot. They are not set up to live with wild rabbits. They have no idea how to safely eat. I mean, they're domestic animals.
yeah.
And I just, I think that's a critical thing or adopt an older rabbit.
Yeah.
Right? So people think they're cute, then they turn into kind of these beasts, and then it's expensive to get a rabbit fixed. It can be anywhere from $200 to $600. I'm guessing right now, dollars. People are they're unwilling to do that. And then they have a rabbit who's hormonal as an adult, not always very nice. Getting fixed makes these bunnies just really chill and turn into like the great house pets that they are.
Yeah, that's awesome. I never knew. I would never think that would make such a big difference. So that's like really
I
interesting.
mean, they were put on this earth to procreate.
True. You know what they say? There's a famous phrase, breeding like rabbits.
Yes,
so
well.
I'm sure that doesn't come from nowhere. But
Yeah.
So, I mean, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what does a healthy daily routine for a rabbit look like?
They're up in the morning, and it's probably the eighth of a cup of pellets, the fresh hay, making sure they have fresh water. They get out I do supervised with mine because I don't like finding chewed furniture or chewed cords, but they're out and about with us in the morning,
Nice.
running around, and then go to work. And they get back in their pen. There's usually different toys in the pen or things I change out. Get home from work, feed them their daily salad, give them the chance to do that. Then they come back out and hang out with us through the evening, whether, we're watching TV or, playing. I rotate because I have multiples. And when my kids are home from college, they might have a bunny in their room. We all rotate them through. And then right before bed, they get a treat. We call it cookie, but it might be like a little tiny piece of carrot, a blueberry, something. And what that triggers me is they want it. And so they had an appetite. I'm checking it like 3 times a day, a strong appetite. And I always look in their box. Oh, look, they've made. Rabbits poop a lot.
Yeah, that's,
Yep.
that's what I've heard. Yep.
The good news is it's called cold, so it can go right into your garden. It's great for your
no
garden.
way.
Well, it's not. Rabbits eat grass, right?
It's just it's natural
safe,
compost,
right.
right?
Yeah.
It's not like chicken or something that that needs to cure.
For sure. For you gardeners out there.
Rabbit poop.
Rabbit poop. You'd be the best gardener in the land.
Oh yeah.
So I'm always like kind of looking in the box, making sure everyone's happy, and then the other things you rotate in, getting their nails trimmed, grooming them, making sure they aren't, if they're shedding, grooming a lot, because rabbits they lick themselves like a cat. They cannot vomit. So if they ingest their hair, and if they have a bonded partner, they ingest their hair too, because they groom each other. And then sometimes that hair can get stuck in their gut. And for like Angoras, it's called wool block. And that's when it's something called GI stasis happens. They slow down, they stop pooping, they stop eating, and it's very dangerous.
Gotcha.
So grooming is important. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Should we swap bunnies?
Sure.
Let's do a little swap.
Give Puzzy a little chance to shine.
Puzzy, Jarvis.
All right,
Oh,
Jarvis.
It was a pleasure. Look at that
Oh,
big
Jarvis.
boy. Oh my
Bye,
goodness
buddy.
gracious. Just a little quick bunny swap for the viewers.
Yeah.
Had the black bunny. We're bringing out Puzzy, the white bunny. Oh,
Oh,
Puzzy.
Puzzy.
Puzzy wuzzies.
There we go.
There we go. Onto the grass.
Oh.
Right where
Yeah,
you
yeah,
belong.
she
Yeah,
found
there
it.
we go. Yeah, you called it.
So, first thing first, you can see that Puzzy is a lot smaller than Jarvis.
She's probably about 5 pounds.
Wow. So, like half the size
Half the
almost.
size,
Wow,
yeah.
That's crazy.
She's her breed is at least a mix of an English spot.
Okay.
And there's write-ups of all kinds of different bunnies.
Yeah.
And like the little ones, people come in, they know this, like the little Netherland dwarfs,
Yeah, with the
adorable,
little ears.
little tiny ears.
Yeah.
Whew, feisty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. That's like, Bunny Day Off.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
There we go. That makes sense.
Lion heads. I have one of my bunnies at home is a lion head. They're very, I don't know, feisty, but they are very opinionated.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
this is actually like one of the most curious breeds
wow.
and outgoing
Well,
breeds.
hey there.
Okay. Yeah.
Another breed that's really sweet is a Dutch. Rexes have like kind of mellow lops. Some lops can be kind of
I was going to add, those are the ones I see a lot on social media, the lops.
yeah, super cute, right?
Yeah. Oh, with the folded ears.
Yeah, but
Oh
they've
my
been
gosh.
bred to have these smushed in flat faces, which is appealing, kind of like pugs, right?
Gotcha.
Ah,
They
okay.
have,
Got it.
they tend to have they can have a lot of tooth issues,
Yeah.
nasal breathing, all of that. And so overbreeding has
Yeah.
contributed to that.
Is there like a genetic sort of bottleneck issue? Because I know like with dog breeds, that's like a huge thing. But I'm curious as to like whether that happens with bunnies.
I don't,
as well.
I don't know. I'm not in the breeding world enough.
Got
But
it.
the thing is,
Yeah.
when somebody has a breeding issue and it gets out of control at their house, say like they get out and then all of a sudden you started with 4. We had this, I don't remember, in 2019, we had 59 rabbits or 58 rabbits come into the shelter on one day. And I want to say like 30 of them were babies. And
my gosh.
right. And it was a situation where the whoever it was started with 4, and within like a year there were 59.
Oh my gosh.
And I would imagine all the interbreeding that there were probably some issues there. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's really interesting. Sorry.
That's all right.
Moving on to my next question. So we kind of covered this a lot, but I don't know if there's anything that you want to like add to it. But like, what sort of environments do bunnies need to like thrive in a home?
Varies. I think higher traffic. Like now, it depends on the bunny. If the bunny's very scared and you've got a lot of other pets, like then I would encourage, like, say that we do a really cool thing at the shelter. One of our volunteers, Hannah, brings in her 2 different dogs and her cat, and they're service dogs, so they're very
wow.
well trained. They're both
great.
poodles,
Wow.
and we put the bunnies in the pens and we walk the dogs safely around,
Yeah.
and we see how the rabbits react. So we get a feel for if they're comfortable with dogs, and some are just like at the cage, like, well, I want the
Yeah,
dog.
let me
And some are genuinely scared. So we can kind of say, oh, this is for more of a house with or without a dog.
Yeah,
Got
that's good.
The thing is, you can have the nicest dog in the whole world. We have the sweetest basset hound, and she's young. She's 1.5 years old.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to harm the bunny, but she wants to play with it. And she would absolutely harm the bunny. So we are
Got it.
just, I would never leave a rabbit alone with a dog.
You gotta be cautious.
Even if it's the sweetest dog in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
What about cats?
cats can get away from rabbits. I mean, unless the rabbit is very small, like say I got her when she was also like this big.
Oh, wow.
The cat might think it's like a mouse.
Yeah.
But cats and rabbits tend to get along. But remember, the cat is always still going to be the predator, the rabbit's the
Yep.
prey.
For sure.
So you just have to respect that relationship.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So being conscious of where you're putting them, they do genuinely like a lot of people do their living room. Some might do a bedroom, like ours are in bedrooms, and then they rotate out into our living room. I always have a litter box in the living room so they know to go there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but we keep them in the bedrooms more because we have a dog, so for safety reasons.
Gotcha. So I think it sounds like having their own kind of space is like pretty important.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
depends. Like Jarvis is in a room with the two bonded bunnies, and they kind of happily ignore each other.
Yeah.
so-
That's good because it
which-
sounds like Jarvis is
well,
not very social.
they have 2 gates between them.
Yeah, okay,
So he
gotcha,
can't
gotcha.
like bite anybody. But as sweet as he is, he just does not
He's a
want.
scrapper.
He
I
doesn't. He is. He's a scrapper.
I feel like if he was a human, he'd be like a heavyweight champion or something.
He
Like-
would have in his day.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Little George Foreman bunny.
Maybe he'll come out with a great grill one
Mike
day.
Tyson.
We don't know.
I don't know. Evander
Tyson, yeah.
Holyfield. All those
Andre the
guys.
Giant.
Andre the
There you go.
Giant.
Yeah, there we
Yep. Yep.
That's Jarvis.
Oh.
Awesome. Cool. So we know you've used Fresh Patch for
Yep.
your bunnies.
Yes.
And obviously you were telling us before we started filming
yep.
how great it is and everything. But how did you first discover Fresh Patch?
You guys, advertising pays off. It came into my feed.
There we go.
My algorithm, right?
Uh-huh.
My Instagram.
Yeah. Was it a dog or a cat owner, or was it a rabbit?
It was a dog.
It was a dog. Okay.
I think it's because I always am like, what? How did this get here?
Yeah.
But we just recently gotten a puppy.
Gotcha.
And I'd started posting puppy pictures
Yeah.
and cute things like that, and our new dog, and right?
We know what we're doing over here with the
So-
advertising
Yeah.
a little bit.
So it popped in, but we're in California. I don't need a grass patch for my dog,
Yeah,
right?
right,
She
right.
can just go in the backyard.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah,
But I'm
not
like,
an apartment or anything.
no,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
And I'm like, but I can have a grass patch. So of course I'm like to my husband, I think I'm gonna buy this patch of grass for the bunnies, and he's pretty funny. He's like, really? You're gonna spend whatever I don't know, 36?
Yeah, that one right there's 30.
Yeah.
30,
Yeah,
30, okay,
yeah.
30.
Maybe 36 with
Seriously,
shipping?
Melissa?
Yeah,
That's
with
what
some shipping,
He's
yeah.
like, can you just go down to Lowe's and like cut off a piece of sod? And I'm like, have you looked at the sod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
it's not
got
great.
all of the fertilizer in it and netting in it, and it's not. I don't know if it's clean and safe, and I've researched it, and this company says blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, why do you ask? You're gonna do what you want, and I am. So I got it for them. I mean, and my son was, oh my gosh, he was home from college when it arrived, and I was
Yeah.
working from home that day, and I was in my office out back, and he like runs out with the box of grass, and I get out of the meeting, and I'm like, oh my god! So we bring it in, and we immediately put it on, and they were all kind of like. But then,
Yeah.
like my bonded pair immediately started sitting on it and sniffing it, and then the other one, PJ, we gave her one, and she started like when you know how cats
Yeah.
mark things with their cheeks, and she started chinning at Rabbit's chin thing. She chinned
Aw.
every blade of grass, and so it was a big hit. And then I came out like 2 mornings later, and then it was on the ground with the bonded pair, and they had like dug up half of it and torn it, and I was so bummed. I'm like, you ruined my grass. But my husband was like, that's what they're supposed to do. Isn't
Yeah.
that what you wanted? And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm sure they had a great time.
they
doing
did,
it.
and they love the grass.
My dog used to tear up the grass a little bit,
Yeah.
but he he had so much fun doing
Yeah.
it. Like, so I was like, he was already older when I started working here. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to train him on
Yeah.
it, but maybe a little enrichment.
Anyway, and then
for
I
him.
posted that I did it.
Yeah.
And I tagged you guys, and then we started I don't know who I started talking
Yeah,
to.
Adriana
and we're
probably,
like,
yeah.
oh, we should meet each other. Well, the funniest part was I ordered it. I had no idea where it was coming from.
Oh,
And then it gets here and it's like Oxnard. And I'm like, are
You're
you
like, what?
kidding me?
Yeah.
I
that's
could
so-
have not. Yeah, I know you ship. You don't do direct, but
Yeah.
but I was like, are you kidding me? It's in my backyard.
yeah.
Basically.
Oh no, you can stop by. We actually just
Yeah.
implemented that this year. Yeah, if anybody's listening, you want to stop by for a patch, we're doing that.
Oh,
now.
that's
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, so
Well,
you
then
don't-
I'll tell all the Bunny Brigade.
Yeah,
There
the
you
local
go.
community, bring it on in.
But
yeah.
I was like, I just had something shipped from Oxnard.
That's
But I was happy
hilarious.
to support a local
That's,
business.
that's
Yeah.
so crazy though that you kind of like independently found it. And,
Yeah.
like,
Well, then I started
yeah.
getting everyone else's patches of grass ads, and I don't know how many competitors are out there. There's some.
We have a
There's a
handful.
few, yeah.
But
there's a few.
I mean, you were local, and at that point, I was like, I'm
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
This is my grass.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I love the local community.
Yeah.
You know, supporting the local businesses and stuff. It's amazing, and that's really cool. I'm glad you found it. And,
Yeah, so
that-
she's just-
that's so cool. And for everyone listening, you know, if you are interested in getting it for your rabbit or bunny, check it out, freshpatch.com. We do have subscriptions, so if they do chew it up or mess it on up, you'll be on subscription. You'll get a new one delivered right to your door, so don't even worry. You can always hit up our wonderful customer service team for any instances like that. But I love that story. That's so
Yeah.
great. That is amazing.
I
And
think, and I kind of water it, like I misted
you
it.
missed it. That's exactly what we tell people to do. Missed it. For the dogs, we have a Stay Fresh spray, which is like a lemongrass scented spray. I don't know if lemongrass is good for rabbits. Probably not. I know it's not good for the cats.
Yeah.
But yes, you can just misspray it. As soon as you hose the thing, you're going to ruin it.
Yeah.
It's going to get soaked, of
Yep.
course. But yeah, just a light mist. It'll prolong the life of it till your next delivery.
I think
And-
it lasted like a good 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
To be honest.
Yeah, no,
That's
and that's
awesome.
what
I
we.
was stoked.
Yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. If they're not ripping it up and they're not potting on it, yeah, and it's in a cooled environment and you're missing it. Yeah, we have. I mean, we've had people last up to like 6 weeks. You know, when they're not potting on it. So
My gosh, talk about enrichment.
Yeah.
I was just petting Puzzy. I feel enriched now.
oh man. So on to the next question: how do rabbits interact with grass?
Well-
Compared to other enrichment options, all our view, we're getting it's just lining up
She can
perfectly
hear
right
you.
now. Yeah, Puzzy, do you know what I'm talking about?
They nibble it. Like,
Yeah.
Well, watch.
Yeah, there we go.
She's nibbling it. She's going to chin it. She's going to dig at it. My one bunny, Blossom, will like literally pulls the whole thing up and shreds it from like, yeah. But she also will shred anything. Like,
Gotcha.
So that's her outlet. It's safe to eat if they want to eat it.
Yeah.
They did nibble on the cardboard. So I put one of them in kind of a bigger litter box at some point, like just once they'd chewed it down.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do offer wooden sleeves as well that go
Oh, you
around
do?
it. Yeah, so
did not know that.
they're we have oak ones and pine ones. So
pine would be probably, is it untreated?
we can sell them as untreated.
Yeah.
We do put a stain on them usually for the dogs, but I mean we
So
could
for
leave
a
it
rabbit,
unfinished.
don't do
yeah,
any
there we
stains.
go. I'm part of
Well,
the,
that's
I'm
great
part of the product
feedback.
development team here.
There you
so
go.
there
Feedback.
I will thank you. I will take all that. That'll be brought up in our meeting on Monday. We have been looking into expanding our rabbit products and stuff,
Cool.
you know, and I don't know if you've seen our cat condo.
I have.
So we were like, oh, maybe that'd be good for rabbits. And we've sent it to some, and they're like, this is great. And then they're like 5 days later, sent us a picture like, well, this is what it looks like 5 days after. And it was torn up. We're like, okay, like good to know.
Duly
Like,
noted.
Yeah.
Yeah. They do tear, I mean, the
Yeah.
teeth. It's the teeth. They tear stuff up. Hi.
Yeah.
It's
What
natural
is what
instinct.
is a more typical enrichment option outside of grass that people usually
Cardboard.
would get? Cardboard. Okay.
I get the, whatever Chewy order, and we cut, we sell like cardboard castles. We have
Yeah.
so we have this cool little, it's our bunny cottage, and we sell stuff at the shelter. We found that, and we're a nonprofit, right? But we found that people would come in to adopt, and they didn't have the right supplies. And what they sell out there, like they want to sell you this tiny guinea pig cage thing that is not sufficient for a rabbit. They need a 4x4 that's tall, because some of them will climb out or hop out. So we sell cardboard houses there, but it's hard for me to want to pay $25 for cardboard. So I take a box, I cut holes in it, cut different things, and
Yeah.
they love to tear that apart. like apple sticks, willow sticks. You can make a ton of toys on your own. You can take paper towels or toilet paper holders, put a treat, like say a blueberry right in the middle, shove hay in there, do a sisal. Oops.
Yeah.
Do sisal,
Gotcha.
And then the rabbit will spend all day tearing that whole thing apart.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of like wicker willow balls you can buy online, and
Okay.
you could shove something in. They're very motivated if they have something to get to.
Yeah, it's like the Kong toy for a dog. When you put the peanut butter in there or something.
Stacking cups. So a lot of baby toys,
Stacking.
keys, they like to throw keys, plastic balls, that hard plastic they can't really chew through.
Gotcha.
But the stacking cups, I once had a bunny Clover. I would put his food in the cups, and he would go through each cup, and then every morning he would bring me the cup to refill his food. So that's kind of like a trick, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that goes back to our other question. Yeah, they learn.
They do.
They learn routine, and
Yep.
that's awesome. That is so cool. Well, I'm glad the grass is working out for you and
she's
everyone listening. Check it out, freshpatch.com.
It's also it's cool.
Yeah.
Right? It's a different texture and it's cool. So like one thing with rabbits when it's hot, I always tell people go to Lowe's and get a big tile, and put it in their enclosure, and when it's hot, and they like to lay down on something that's very cool, and this is that.
Yeah,
Did you see that big trend on TikTok? I think it was about a year ago now, but it was like, get your cat a cinder block.
No.
They will absolutely love it.
And they do?
They just like sit, I think it's because it's cool.
Yeah.
They kind of like sit on it.
It's cool.
And
They
stuff.
can
I'm like,
climb in it and
Yeah.
stuff too. Yeah. All our grass here is refrigerated too. So get it directly from the farm, from a refrigerator, straight to our refrigerator, and then straight to the box. So it stays very cool for a good amount of time. I'm gonna give you a little pet.
Hold her if you want.
Give yourself some enrichment, man.
Ooh, little. What was that? What is it?
Oh, you
Binky?
stop it.
Yeah, a little flick.
Yeah.
What's the thump?
Thump. So
Thump.
that is when it's usually a warning of some sort, like either I'm really mad or something's scaring me,
Yeah.
or hey everybody, when it's in the middle of the night and you've
Yeah.
got wood floors and let's wake up.
Yeah, I'm here.
His dog does it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's super
My
funny.
dog. Yeah, my dog does it when he's itching. He does the chin scratches too. When he gets a good itch, he just. I call him it's his thumper. Of course. So maybe that is why Thumper was doing it in Bambi, right?
Yeah, maybe, or he was. Yeah,
He was
Maybe
just I think he's excited.
He was warning. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
It's they're quiet, so that's something we do say to people. Like if you want a quiet pet other than thumping, they don't bark, they don't meow.
Do they make a noise?
Well, so when they're really happy, they can
Yeah.
grind their teeth. Actually, that can be the real pain. Like they have pain, but you'll notice sometimes they'll hunker down and they'll kind of grit their teeth, and that means they're happy. Rabbits do scream.
I was gonna
And
say,
it is scary.
Okay.
It's rare, but if they're in pain or there's something shocky
Wow.
and it is really frightening.
Yeah.
It does not happen very often.
Is it loud?
Oh my gosh, it's ear piercing.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Is it? It's like that. What's the? It's really scary. It's like an old. There's like a whistle. It's like a war cry whistle
It's like,
from. Oh gosh, I forget the.
There's that famous social media video too of like a chipmunk or whatever, and
Yes,
it's just like
yeah.
it's filming it, and all of a sudden it goes.
Yeah. It's a scream. I don't know. Did you guys see Watership Down ever or read it? I read it, but and I think the rabbits might scream a little in that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
It's terrifying.
Another thing I just learned now.
Yeah.
Rabbits scream.
Yeah, so
I
rabbits-
They
would
can.
never
It's not.
guess, like-
It is rare. It
Rare.
is not common, but they can.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Did it sound like my dog earlier?
No.
Yeah.
Loud,
Oh my
louder?
gosh.
Or
Talk about
that was-
screaming.
Yeah.
Very high pitched.
High-pitched.
And it
Not
is-
a whine,
It's
it's more of a-
frightening. It's like something you haven't heard before, and it makes you stop. I will. Sometimes if a bunny nips or bites, or I have like said to people, make a little like ee sound, and because then they'll know that they hurt you. And I've done it with a couple small, like young rabbits who didn't know what they were doing, and they stopped.
Yeah.
It got their attention, but it's not something I do often.
Yeah.
Something that we haven't really talked about is them kind of nibbling or biting someone. What are like the best ways to kind of like avoid that?
I mean, there's got to be a reason they're biting, and usually
Yeah.
it's a nip, and it's because they want attention. So I move away from them. I get up and walk away.
You're not getting my attention right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I give them the attention, right?
Yeah,
So I
You cave in,
reinforce
you know?
the I mean, their brains are still not that big. So it's not I don't know the extent to which you
Yeah.
could. The other thing where they might nip if another rabbit comes into play and they're wound up
Gotcha.
about it, or they're really hungry and they really want that food in your hand and they are going to go after it and they mistake your finger and get your finger
Gotcha.
instead of the food.
'Cause they're-
And that's not intentional.
They're
That's
seeing red.
just,
They're
I want food.
Yeah.
So most rabbits like are pretty friendly with humans, just like off the bat. Like,
Well, I mean, they're cautious. It depends on how much they've been socialized.
gotcha.
So, which is
Gotcha.
why being at the animal shelter is a cool thing. Is that a lot of the volunteers get to work with the bunnies. We have this really fun thing. This is another thing for people with younger kids. I always get the question like, "I want my kids to volunteer," and we have definite rules around volunteering, and we can get those to you. You have to be a certain age and then you're with a parent or guardian, and then you're can be on your own, I think, after 16. But we do this
Got it.
thing called Rescue Readers, and it's for younger kids, and they come in one Sunday a month, and they sit in the pens, and we put, like, obviously we'd put the really sweet bunnies out.
Yeah.
And they read to the bunnies, and the bunnies love to walk on them and sniff them and nudge them,
Yeah.
and so...
Is that open to adults? Because like that sounds pretty fun.
Why not? It is. It is fun.
That's a classic game question.
Yeah,
right there,
yeah,
man.
It sounds like you need to foster a bunny.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
That's great. I love that. That's a great program to have.
It
all the
is.
I mean, that's.
I mean,
that's amazing.
anything that like gets kids interested in animals and right and
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
to take care of them and interact with them
Yeah.
safely.
Yeah,
Totally.
and it's like what you were mentioning before with 4-H. I have a lot of friends that grew up doing 4-H and lambs in the backyards, goats. I mean, I saw them
Same.
all. I was never in it, but I would help them from time to time and stuff. And I know you mentioned that before that was kind of a program too. You guys would
Yep.
go read to them as well, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great
My-
way to interact with
Yeah,
as
my
a kid. You know,
we never raised livestock with our kids.
Okay.
It was a lot of volunteering and service type projects.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, and the rabbits were just their house pets.
yeah, no, and yeah, 4-H is such an amazing
It is.
program and stuff.
It's
I've always
like-
loved going to the fair and seeing the animals, but just knowing my friends raised that animal and stuff, and like it's just cool.
The kids get like true hands-on learning. The other, I mean, I'm going to do my 4-H plug.
Yeah.
We were in Loma Vista 4-H for years, and public speaking, my kids really got to learn how to do that. They would have to do presentations, and eventually my daughter got a scholarship to college with the speech team. But she learned about public speaking there, and that was
Yeah.
my mom told me when unbeknownst, she's like, I put you in 4-H so you could learn to speak in front of a group of people.
Oh.
There you
So here we are today.
Yeah,
Wow.
a career is taken off.
Yeah,
I don't
clearly.
know about that.
Podcast.
But so it wasn't like necessarily to raise animals. It was
Yeah.
to learn responsibility.
Yeah.
And to public speaking.
And I know that's a huge focus of
Yeah.
the whole 4-H aspect
Yeah.
in general. It's
And
not-
learn by doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
for sure.
Cool. So one more question. This is going to be more for like the clip, but I feel like we've already answered this. But why is real grass beneficial for rabbits?
Oh, real grass is beneficial for rabbits because it really provides enrichment. House rabbits are very happy inside and they're safe inside, but it brings the outdoors in. And I think maybe it's as good for the humans to see it with their bunny as it is for the rabbits to be on a different texture. And it's real grass when it's safe real grass. There's no pesticides. There's nothing additive on it, right? You can see, like, they don't want to get off this.
No.
It's cool. They can nibble at it. They can dig at it. And for rabbits, like, enrichment is a critical part of keeping their mind busy and also keeping them from getting in trouble around your house.
There we go. Yeah.
Save those cords, get some grass.
Yes. Freshpatch.com. You heard it here.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. There we go.
Puzzy.
Puzzy.
So, what do you say? Okay.
Said, I love real grass. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Melissa. This has been an amazing episode.
Incredible,
We've learned
yes.
so much, and thank you for bringing Jarvis and Puzzy.
Sure.
Incredible. Both
Love.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well,
Amazing.
thanks for the interest,
Yes.
and we'll share all our links and info with you. But
Of course.
rabbits make amazing pets, and I really like. If there's one last thing, is I want to emphasize that foster. If you are wondering if this is the right pet for you, foster, foster, foster.
There we go. So for all our local listeners, check out Ventura County Animal Services. If you are anywhere else that, not in the area and you are interested in rabbits and stuff,
Or
listen to
dogs
Melissa.
or cats.
Yeah, foster all of them.
Yeah.
But, this is the rabbit episode. So, go check out your local shelter, especially those in Ventura County. And you can probably meet Melissa. She's there on Saturdays. So go
She's
check
pretty
it out.
cool.
If you're a weekend warrior, we'll advocate,
All right. Thanks, you guys. This was
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And last time, hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Follow at Fresh Patch on all social media. Check out freshpatch.com. Check out Ventura County Animal Services. And we will see you guys on the next episode of the Fresh Patch Podcast. It's been a fun one. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Fresh Patch Podcast, where good pets get it. We hope you enjoyed the show. Give us a like or a follow and shop all real grass supplies at freshpatch.com.